Hey y'all, happy Sunday to ya. It's Ashley here from Lovely Commotion. Thanks for joining me. Today, I want to share with you one classroom management strategy that I literally cannot live without. So, back when I was in college, we had a lab school on site and it was amazing. They had their own early childhood center, and I both trained there and I loved it so much that I got a job there. And so I was constantly there, and it was an amazing experience. I learned so much. And of course, this is where I learned my very favorite classroom management strategy that I literally cannot live without. But I have to tell you, like, inside that lab school was such a serene place. No one was yelling, no one was upset. And by yelling, I mean teachers. Yes, of course, there was always maybe somebody upset or crying because children sometimes do that. But for the most part, it was very calm and serene. The teachers were calm and serene. It was such a wonderful place to be. And then I had to do a research project and was placed in a childcare center in that same city. And it was a daycare center, and it was a very, very stark contrast from the lab school that I had just been in. There was a lot of teachers that were angry and almost seemed like they didn't even like these kiddos, and they were constantly yelling, and it made me tense. So I can only imagine how it made them feel. And it seemed like this was kind of the only strategy they had to get these kiddos to do what they wanted, was by yelling at them. And so it definitely wasn't a place I liked to be, because I felt the tension myself, and I felt like it wasn't okay because I just come from this place where that's not how things were done. And so I chalked it up to the fact that the lab school had certified teachers. They were training new teachers. And so, of course, they were on their A game. And that maybe just this daycare center had teachers that weren't trained, right? Or maybe just needed a job and didn't really like kids. Well, then the next year, I had to go to another childcare center, and these teachers were not certified teachers. They were daycare teachers. And please know that I do not say that in any disrespectful way, because caring for kids is very hard. And so just because these women did not have degrees doesn't mean anything to me. I am a true believer that you do not have to have a degree to do amazing work in the early childhood field. All you have to have is passion and heart and willingness to learn. And these women in this other center, even though they did not have these degrees, were calm, serene, just like the lab school. And so there goes my theory of thinking as a new college student, new to teaching, that it had to do with the education level, because it didn't. They all had one thing in common when they wanted their kids to do something. And that's what made the difference. What they did, and that one childcare center didn't do, is they sang. They sang everything. And ever since that day, whenever I walked into a classroom to do a like a student teaching type of thing or a practicum or things like that, I started doing this, and I have not stopped up until now. Like, I sing everything. Instead of yelling, they were singing. And we were taught this, and I'm just like, yeah, sure. We sing. And by singing, I don't mean songs off the radio. I don't mean singing even like kids' songs or the ABCs. Like, we do that, yes. But that's not what I'm talking about for a classroom management strategy. I'm talking about singing all your directions, all your transitions, and basically anything you want them to do. And I still see this so much in our field, where we want kids to do things and we keep saying it and saying it and saying it. And finally, you get fed up. You get fed up because they're not listening to you. And they can hear you, right? And many times we'll even say that, I know you can hear me when I'm talking to you, and they just choose not to do it, because what you're saying goes in one ear and totally out the other for some kiddos. And so I've been in this game about 15 years. And from day one, because I learned it in college and I learned it, I could have learned it anywhere, honestly. It's not like this mind-boggling science that you need to go to school for, but I learned it there. I stuck with it, and I even sang with my first graders. And I'm telling you, they may not have loved it. They may have rolled their eyes every once in a while, but it totally worked. And preschoolers don't roll their eyes, and that's the best part because they absolutely love you, even when you're a horrible singer. So I know there's many of you out there that are like, I'm not singing. Like, I have a horrible singing voice. I don't want to hear myself sing. I don't want to deal with singing. And I get it. I mean, I do. I have to let my own, like, I have to let it go. I have to let my own self insecurities go because I used to not want to sing in front of other teachers or sing in front of administration. But the reality is that they're in this field too. And so they totally know what works and what is good for kids. And if they see you singing, so what? You're not singing the best. If it's getting those children to do what you need them to do without being disrespectful and yelling and getting upset and the tension going up here, then they're going to be okay with it too. And you might just start a movement in your school, right? I sing everything. So, like, you may not be Beyonce, but you know what the best thing about kids are, especially preschoolers, is they are so great. They don't even care, right? They are like, they're so non-judgmental at this age. I could have been outside with my hair blowing in the wind and I could have some kids snot on my sleeve and they'll still tell me I'm beautiful because they're amazing. And that's why I love them so much. They just don't care, right? They don't care if you can't sing like Beyonce. They don't care if it is not a CD off of the playlist. They don't even care if it doesn't make sense or rhyme because, quite frankly, they're still working on that. So they don't care. And I'm sure there's some like crazy science behind why we can remember songs, right? You can remember songs, but you can't remember what somebody just said to you, and how songs bring us joy, right? And they bring back a certain memory, or I mean, it's just amazing. I'm sure there's science behind it. I'm not going to pretend to know it because I don't. And quite frankly, it doesn't matter because it works. Like, the children listen. So if you're getting your students to struggle with lining up or sitting on the carpet or packing up their bags at the end of the day or getting out their snack or putting away their books or any of the million and one things that you give directions for, try singing it. Even if it's just like one, just try like one transition period of singing it and see what happens. Like, it's magical, y'all. It's magical. Like, I don't know why it works, but it does. And so why wouldn't you want to do something that works, that makes it easier and doesn't bring my blood pressure up to here? Like, I'm sick of my watch telling me to breathe, right? If your watch is telling you to breathe all the time, then maybe you need to find a different way to handle it. And so sing it. So one tune that is like the easiest way to bring singing into transition is Farmer in the Dell. Like, it's just Farmer in the Dell, Farmer in the Dell, hi ho the dairy, Farmer in the Dell. So I'll sing it like after snack. If they're finished with snack early, they go find a book and they get to look at that book. And so I'll sing, put your books away, hi ho the dairy, put your books away. And so they go put their books away, right? And then maybe if they didn't hear me, I come a little bit closer and I start singing it again. And then it's like, oh yeah, yeah. But they're hearing that song when I could say it. And some of them might do it, right? Or I could maybe yell it and maybe they don't care. Maybe some of them do. But singing, it just encapsulates them and they all seem to do it. Especially, this is super helpful when you've got a larger group of students and they're all being a little bit energy level up here and you want to bring them down here, right? That happened to me just recently. We had 2 different classes and they were all kind of up here. And so instead of, saying, hey, sit down on the rug, boys and girls, you need to sit, I just started singing. And it worked beautifully, right? Because they're like, what's she doing over there? She's singing. And so then they're like, okay, I can do what she's singing. And then they start singing along with you. And so try adding just your directions to Farmer in the Dell. Like, go and get your snack, go and get your snack. Hi ho, the Dario, go and get your snack. Have a seat on the carpet, have a seat on the carpet. Everyone, everywhere, go and sit on the carpet. Like, it does not have to be hard, but it works. And so I urge you to try this. And if you are singing challenged or super scared, please, please, just for the sake of your children, kind of put that fear in a box and give it a whirl, because I'm telling you, it's going to change the way you think about classroom management, because you not only will be less stressed yourself, you will look at these children and go, well, it's maybe not that they aren't listening or following directions. Sometimes they just get talked at a lot. They get talked at a lot at home. They get talked to a lot by brothers and sisters, and they don't get sung at very often, right? And so it kind of makes those ears turn on a little bit better, because they're used to things going in one ear and out the other. And so I sing all the time. I actually recently had another teacher come in, and she was like, every time I come in here, you're singing. Yep, I am. And so I urge you to try it too. And if you're struggling with this whole singing thing, I have some transition cards for free on my blog, and I put a link to them in this video. But you can try them. They're just super simple. You could just pull one out. There's ones for like lining up and sitting down and all those great things that we do. But if you need that, that might help you kind of get the ball rolling. There's even like an audio file of me singing, Aren't You So Lucky? That can help you if you're like, what is the tune to this? Or how does this sound? And listen to it to a couple of times and you'll pick it up, right? I have a weird knack of being able to like make up random songs. So I realize this isn't easy for everyone. It's not comfortable for everyone. And just so you know, it wasn't comfortable for me either. But it's gotten more comfortable because I've just decided like to be that teacher that sings all the time. And if that's what I'm known for, then that can't be the worst thing, right? And so I just kind of let it go and being silly and capturing their attention. So try it. Sing. Leave me a comment. Do you sing? Do you hate singing? Will you give it a try anyway, please? Because the yelling is hard. It brings the temper levels up. And I know that we wouldn't want to be yelled at all day as children. They deserve that respect as well, of us speaking to them calmly and nicely, or singing to them calmly and nicely. So drop me a comment. Let me know. Do you sing? You might sing better than me, but it's not a contest, so it doesn't really matter. Nobody wins, right? The only people who win are the children, and that is amazing. So drop me a comment. Let me know. Singing, try it, please. All right. See you guys.